Alright, what's up guys? This is Rick from Team Crescent, and I'll be doing my deck profile on the infamous XYZ Infernity. So let's get to it. For monsters, we'll start off with Summoner Monk. Most people like to run 2, but I like to run 1 because I feel like 2 is too much because in any case you only need 1, and that would most likely be in your opening hand. If you get a monk any other time in the game, it's really just a dead draw because odds are you're gonna have no hand. And the point of him is to set everything up in the first turn. So 1 is just enough, and obviously with him you would search out one of these two most of the time. Get a Knight and Greffer, obviously just engines for ditching out cards from your deck, thinning your deck, putting your pieces in the right place to set up for the next turn, or make things happen in the first turn. So, after that we got 2 Stygians. These 2 are awesome for, well, they are actually very key into the loop because they help you special summon. And that's what keeps the loop going, because you can continue to XYZ or search in your deck and make more plays happen, especially with Leviaires. You just bring them back from the banish, XYZ, place them in a grave again, and yeah, all that shit happens. So, after that, we obviously have 3 Archfiends and 3 Necromancers. Don't really need to say too much about these guys. Infernities are basically the initial engine of the deck. They search, and they XYZ. That's their job. And they stay on the field for barriers. Necros, their jobs are to get these guys out. And if you need it, you could always XYZ into a more defensive position, going to zenmaines or Leviaire for a more offensive attack. So, yep, those will be our monsters. So move on to spells. Obviously, we need 1 launcher. Absolutely no reason needed. This guy is a beast. You don't want to see him when you face an Infernity player, because all hell goes loose when that happens. Second, I run 1 Pot and 1 Allure. Pot is an interesting choice in this deck. Not too many people run them because, no special summoning. And what the fuck is the point? Well, most of the time, you will get these 2 cards sometime in mid-game or late game, and that's when you really need them for draw power. You need to add protection, and you don't want to just keep relying on top deck, so you need some kind of option, and these 2 cards bring it. Also, if you need to ditch cards, these are perfect options in opening hands for Monk and stuff like that. These 2 are also the reason why I run 1 Drag Down to the Grave. Not too many people run this card in this deck, but it is amazing because you have so many options in which you can just take it. It's a plus. First, this card is awesome because you can see your opponent's hand, and basically you could ditch any card that you know will cause some kind of trouble to your Infernity loop or function. Because when you play good good players who know Infernity decks, they know which cards they need to stop. So with this card, you can, Maxis can go, Veilers can go. What you want to do is typically I would narrow down my hand into 1 card, play it. They have no option. They probably know what I'm playing by now, but guess what? I know what they're playing now, and I get to have a free discard. So that's why this card is amazing. Second, we run 2 Insta-Fusions. These are for easier XYZ level summoning. Use them at the right time. If you use them at the wrong time, instant fusions can just be a waste of 1,000 life points. But if you use them right, they can make your loop very, very deadly. Monster Gate. Monster Gate is actually very, very useful. I do use them quite often. Either initial hand. This depends on what your hand is. You can use it to discard for a monk, or the drag down into the grave, or you can actually use it on a necro or something, because odds are you're going to flip into a level 4-star monster, and this whole deck runs on level 4. So if you're lucky, you could even go into Archfiend, draw power, instant, you could make something happen with this card. So that's why it gives this deck a lot more flexibility in terms of XYZ summoning. Obviously, with the Infernity deck, we run Rhoda, search out Greffer and get a Knight. Not too much to say about that. And we go 1 book, 1 hole. with the format now, you really need these two cards either as a defensive option or an offensive option. It's you just really need them with heavy and all those other traps gone. These last two remaining staples have to be in your deck.
Is that a first ed Spanish?
Yes, it is. Got it out of a box, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, Burial, Get a Night. That's just the second Get a Night. Really, same function as Get a Night and Grepher. Not too much to say about that. You need this as an Infernity card. And with this format, no heavy. So you definitely need triple MSTs. And to basically supplement with them, you need double Night Beams. Because as an Infernity player, you want to get rid of all threats. Because if you, like I said before, if you play a person who knows the Infernity deck, they know which key cards they need to get rid of. And so before that even happens, if they have face down traps or anything, you need these cards to take care of business so that you can take care of business with the monster sin. Yeah, that's why I say this deck needs some protection, some sort of protection, and not all with traps. And I'll get into why. For traps, I run triple break, triple barrier. I used to run double barrier only, but with this new format, I feel like you need 3 barriers because breaks just won't cut it. There's so many things that happen off the field that why would you not play 3? God damn it! Like why? There's so many things. E-dragons, Dark Worlds, Blackness. There's so many things that can happen. You need 3. If anything, go double break and 3 barriers because you need to negate effects before shit like happens. And so Staples, Compulse, amazing card. It was sad when they went to 1. Warning, obviously another staple. Torrential for protection again. Bottomless, get rid of annoying cards. Double mirrors, piss your opponent off. And 1 call, just as a kind of secondary life for your deck. And that will conclude my main deck.
Is that a 40 card deck?
Yes, it is.
Alright, so quick question. Notice that there's no transmodify in here. What's up with that, man?
Yeah, transmodify. I would be running one if I did run transmodify, but number one reason why I don't run it, it's fucking $40, and I'm not willing to spend. And second of all, why I don't run 3 is because with 3, if you think about it, it's a monster gate on steroids, and the only times you would use it is when you have a Necro on the field. And the odds are, if you have 3 Transmodify, and if you open up with like 2 of them, then you're fucked. Or if you open up with Transmodify and you have no Necro, you're fucked. There's just so many downsides to having 3 Transmodify that it's really not worth the risk of running it with the deck. And so, if I did run, I would run 1, but too pricey. I'm poor. Give me a break. So Monster Gate actually fills it pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. There's a lot of this is one of the best things about Infernity. There's so much flexibility in the deck, and it also depends a lot on the player. So.
Alrighty, so move on to the extra deck.
So the extra deck, we go on with double Evolvals, the MVP of the deck. Everything happens right here because these 2 sexy monsters are here. Anyways, and then we go 1 Key Beetle for protection. If you ever want to go into a more defensive mode, you would go Key Beetle. Although there actually is not that many times you want to go into them, because chances are you need Lavalva's effect over him like 98% of the time. But he's a good card to have to protect your other cards, because he's a 2500 attack, and this deck really needs some firepower. This Dweller, obviously, E-Dragons, all the annoying stuff. You need to have something, even to stall for 1 turn. You gotta put something down or lock them out. Or if you get everything set up and you have an option to go an extra level 4 XYZ, you go him to make sure that they can't do anything the next turn or during your turn to stop anything that you're doing. Very good card. Maestro, great. Free book, free zenmaines. Not too much to say about him. He's just a really good card. And then we go 1 cowboy. Obviously, when they're down to that last, clinging on to that last 800, man, you could just say, kiss that goodbye. And 1 Gem Knight Pearl. Obviously, 2600 attack. We do need this, even if just as an option. We don't have him. We don't play him out too much, but when you need him, you want to have him as an option, because I played without it for a while, and then the times I needed it, I just went, fuck, well, I don't have a Gem Knight. So I learned, and it's in here now. 1 Pappy. Some decks like to go face downs just for protection, or if they're like in a bad position, you can get them out of it right away. Rykos are annoying. I mean, yeah. Sorry, I say that because one of our friends, man, Lightsworns.
Oh, it's getting worse.
Yeah.
We'll be posting a Lightsworn deck profile.
Watch out,
guys.
ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna hate that deck. Anyways, 1 Utopia. Really, to be honest, you don't need Utopia. I just have him here because I would rather have Emerald or Diamond Dire Wolf in here, because they serve a much better purpose. If you're gonna summon Utopia, I would rather go Key Beetle. But the only thing is, Emerald is like $20, and we all know Diamond Dire Wolf. Whew, man. But yeah, that's the reason why I don't run those 2 cards. If you are an Infernity player, you want to run those 2 cards though. Those 2 cards are awesome. Anyways, 1 Nightmare. I don't use this card very much, but he has his uses, and this is just like Pearl. You want to have him in your extra deck, just as an option in case the time comes up. You want to lock him down, and they're going to be like, ah, crap. So for level 3s, I have 1 Zenmaine. You go for a more defensive approach. You can go Zenmaine, pop. 1 Giga Brilliant. Not too many people run these, but I feel like it's pretty good great for OTKs. That's what I gotta say. You detach, you have like 4 monsters on the field, bam, gone.
It's not funny.
Yeah. And 1 Levier, obviously. Stygians, with Stygians effect and breaks, removing cards from play in the graveyard, Levier is a great option to make stuff happen. And obviously we have 2 fusion monsters for the 2 instant fusions. I was actually considering running 1 level 4 and 1 level 3. But I feel like 2 level 4s is much more consistent, and I will use them much more often. So that concludes my XYZ Infernities. Don't forget, guys, or actually not don't forget, I never said this yet, but we will be posting up some solitaires, my solitaires, which is, I'll be opening up with random opening hands, just like an actual duel, and I'll be playing with the opening hand and seeing what we can do with it, and I would love your feedback. Everybody has room for improvement, and I would really love advice. Give me tips. If you see something doing wrong, post in the comments and be like, hey dude, you're doing this wrong. This is what you would or should do for maximum, efficiency. So keep an eye on that, and discuss XYZ Infernity, man. Best deck in the world.
Alright guys, this is Rick and his Xyz Infernities 2 broke, and this is Team Crescent signing out.